Hello, and hang on a second, I just need to mute my microphone on my phone here. There we go. How are you all doing? I don't know what the collective noun is for Zero Crust viewers, crusters, I don't know. But anyway, welcome, and this is my first live show, and basically I guess you're probably wondering why I would go to all the trouble of making a live show, not exactly overcome with viewers, but actually the point is, I guess there's a few points. First thing is I'm trying my very best to create a lot of content for the channel, and a lot of that involves kind of editing and planning, and it's not always possible for me to have the time if I'm traveling to create all those sort of things. So if I create a live show and schedule it and announce it, then it kind of has to happen. So kind of here we are. That's the first thing. I think the second thing is that, well, I mean, kind of our product really can be shown live and actually is used live. Customers don't use our product as a pre-recording. So really, the product needs to be shown live, and whenever we give demonstrations to customers, we always just do a live demo, and we hear from customers that competitors will give a slideshow or pre-recording. So actually giving a live show is showing the product what it can do in a live situation, and the customers that are out there that maybe watch this back on the recording will appreciate the fact that it just works, and hopefully I've not jinxed myself there. I guess other final thing is, of course, no matter how many viewers we get, and hopefully that account will grow and we'll get better at promoting these live events, if it can just help someone, then of course that is a good thing. Right then. So I've got various things here, so let me just see if I can figure out how to do some of this stuff here. So this is my first event, so I've got a lot of windows, I've got the chat to monitor. I did think that I was going to get a glamorous assistant to basically help me out with that, and but unfortunately she's taken the kids on holiday to Spain, so I don't have her to help there, and anyway, but so I just got to keep everything monitored. So I'm going to try my best to make sure that I'm showing the right screen at the right time. Right then, so get my clicker out here, and we're going to advance to, I guess we'll get on with it and get on with the first slide here. So if I just click on here, I think that is right. We'll do the welcome bit, and basically we're going to start off with tray tool number one. So really this is the first kind of part where I'd like to just introduce exactly what tray tools are. And it's a funny thing actually, because we've had tray tools in the product since I think version 7.2, a long time ago. We kind of get used to them. We don't probably promote them as much as we should do, but they're just there. They're nothing special. However, you know, many customers take the product and they're not actually aware that they even exist. So let's explain exactly what is a tray tool, you know, and how, what's the easiest way to get to use them. So this is where I'm going to switch from my presentation mode to my screen share mode. So the first tray tools we're going to cover today are those that are included with the product. So when you get a free plan, you go to the tray tool area, there are these tray tools on the quick add list, and these are sort of control panel applets that you can easily access through tray tools. So we're going to show you how to create those right away. So if we switch to, that's all working very nicely, so you should be able to see now on the left hand side this is the portal, and on the right hand side we have an endpoint here, which is the system I'm going to be using for doing my demonstrations on, and the tray tool, if it's enabled, would sit down here, but you notice we don't have any tray tools enabled. So let's go ahead and have a look at some of these included tray tools. So on the portal, tray tools can sit in the Windows, what we call global settings, and so that would be Windows settings, and then it would be app control, and then it would be in tray tools. Any tray tool that's put in on the global settings are going to go to all users no matter how many subsettings you have. They are global, hence the name global. And then you could also, say if you want to create some tray tools for a specific group of users, you would then go in and put them in a subsetting. So I'm going to edit this one here and go into app control. And this is the subsetting that I'm going to be using for this demo. So it would be on tray tools here. So first thing we're going to do is we're going to show you how to add a very basic one, which is device manager. Okay, it's simple as that. You just select it from the drop down, the tray tool now shows up here, and then over on the endpoint. So you notice there was nothing on there before, and now you see my tray tool has magically appeared, and I can click on device manager, and then I get the option here to confirm, and then device manager will start, and it will start elevated, and I'll be able to do things like drivers and all sorts of things with this. Also, you should have a log. If I just duplicate this tab here, a log of use of that tray tool. There we go. It's currently running, so that's great as well. So really, you can see a tray tool is kind of like a shortcut for convenience. It's very much a user convenience feature. Of course, I could have started Device Manager Elevated using the actual name and then right click on Administrator, but it's fantastic that I can just do it on a tray tool just like this. So that is makes it just easier to access. The other thing with tray tools are that the tray tool mechanism for elevating gives you a little bit more oomph with regards to the thing you're elevating. So it's possible that things you elevate from the desktop or from other areas may, if you have a particularly odd application, it's always worth trying it in a tray tool, because that is a slightly different technique, and you may get better success running it from there. Anyway, let's go ahead and we're going to go for some others as well. So we're going to go for the uninstall program. Let's just see. The uninstall program is a little different in that the uninstall program is actually our applet that you'll see in a minute. So this is not a Windows component. This is our component. And the nice thing about this is that in the future will enable you to sort of screen out particular applications, as opposed to if we just presented with the whole kind of programs and features of Windows, you'd be able to take anything out that way. So here, although we're kind of replicating that control panel file CPL, in the future hopefully will give you more granular control over what apps users are able to uninstall from here. Let's close that and let's go to probably one of the most popular tray tools, which is another one of our applets, which is the network configuration, a network adapter setting. So if I go in here and then I go, the tray tool will appear. And again, we have an applet interface, so you'll be able to see, you can select different adapters, change IP addresses, and then we have the advanced button here that allows you to see the IP address. This is quite handy as well. And again, this would be audit logged when used. Finally, there's the good old add printer wizard. So you can see how easy these are to add. You just simply click on the drop down and they arrive. So let's go and do the last one. This is a Windows component, so it will allow you to add a printer without having admin rights. Okay, so that's pretty much all it is. So you can use those tray tools globally and give them to everyone, or you can do what I've done here in a subsetting, and you can basically give them to just groups of people. So let me just delete. I'm going to go and delete these, and I want to start afresh with a new the second tray tool that I'm going to show you. Okay, so let me just finish deleting here, and then we're going to go back to the endpoint and refresh the configuration, and hopefully no tray tool show. Perfect, excellent. Okay, well, let us go back then to the next slide, which is, I'm going to click on it. Oh, see what I mean about multi-hands? I've got to have, here we go. Right, so let's start having a look at custom tray tools. So these are tray tools that you would need to they're not included with the drop down, so you'd need to create them yourself. So yeah, I mean, you can add pretty much, you know, links to any file you want through tray tools. As long as a client can see it, you can add it. So I thought I'd start off with a very simple one, which is services.msc. So it's an MMC snap-in. And if we just go back over to here, and then I can then click on this, basically we can go ahead. And so what we do is we would go to create new tray tool. So we're not using the drop down. This is just the application name, so I can call it what I like, but I'm going to call it services. And then I think the file name is nice and simple. It's just services.msc. I don't think I need any parameters in this one, and I'm going to run it as admin. By the way, if I have approval enabled, you can pre-approve here, or you could do the pre-approval in the pre-approval section. It all depends on where you want to put them, but you can pre-approve the file straight from here. So I click save. That will save the tray tool. There it is. And again, on my endpoint, I now see services. So I can now start services from the tray tool, elevated and audit logged, and I can go and restart. You can see I get the start and stop controls there. So that's elevated. And again, you know, I could quite easily have done that by, you know, searching or whatever, but it's just a convenience thing that you can launch these things from the tray tool. So that again is quite straightforward. So and obviously so basically I can't go through every single MSC file there is, but you get the general gist. What I've done today is I've basically found various techniques or things you can do with tray tools, and then you can hopefully take the method I've used and then adjust it for something custom that you want to do. Hopefully I've covered all the scenarios, but anyway, that's how you would do an MSC file. So let's delete that and briskly move on to the next topic. Let me just clear the tray tool. I want to show you that the tray tool is empty. There it is. Okay, let me just minimize. Minimize, not maximize, Jeff. Come on. Oh, hang on a second. There we go. Okay, right. Let's go on to here. I need a director to help me with all this coordination. It is quite tricky, but anyway. Right then. Here is something which is quite good. Very popular feature with customers. So, as mentioned earlier, tray tools can be put on a subsetting or put in global. Now at the moment on the subsetting that I'm in, I don't have any tray tools. But if I was to look at a different subsetting, so for example, a subsetting that I've given to my help desk users, I have put some tray tools in here for the help desk users. So basically, if I don't want to give tray tools to my users, I don't want to give all the tray tools to the users, then basically I can, I need to switch to the other, see, I already forgot to do that. So I've got my help desk subset. Let me just rewind a bit. So I knew that was going to happen. I'm going to forget that I'm not showing the right screen. So I'm not, I don't have any subsettings configured, as you can see, for my the user of this endpoint. So that would be here, and then you can see here, no tray tools. If I go to the help desk subsetting, like so, then you can see I have indeed got some tray tools for my help desk. Okay, so the cool thing is that if the help desk are doing a remote session, and that could be a remote session that is done for our own remote support feature with secure access, then I could get onto this endpoint. I could go to support assistance mode, start this, authenticate as the help desk user, and that would be a non-privileged help desk user, because we want to remove all privileges from help desk staff as well as non-help desk staff, because we want to achieve zero trust, don't we? So by authenticating here with support assist, what happens is that I apply the subsetting of my help desk user to this particular profile. And that means I get the tray tools along for the ride as well. So this is actually a very good thing. So I can give my help desk users loads of these tools, and you'll see lots of other tools you can create later on in the show. But what I'm saying is that these tools can just appear with the support assist, and then when the support assist is done, off they go again. So some of these tray tools we're going to talk about are, quite meaty in regards to the amount of privilege that you're giving, like for control panel. You can give those tray tools to your help desk users, and then they can invoke those in the middle of a support session using the support assist mode. So that is how to do context switching with tray tools using support assist. Right then. Okay, let me switch back now to I'm getting the hang of this. We're doing it. Right, so next, number 4. This is interesting. So you can actually, as a tray tool, you can put a URL in there. And you may think, like, why would you want to do that? Well, actually, it could be for an intranet or a ticketing system. Again, it's all about convenience. If it's there on the tray tool, and don't forget, different tray tools for different groups of users, so different URL for different groups of users, that could be possible, then you can put that in a tray tool. So let's have a look at how we do this. Right, I'm going to remember to switch the screen. There we go. I'm going to navigate back to, what am I doing now? That goes like this. I'm going to navigate back to my subsetting I'm using, which is this one. And if you remember, we don't have anything in that tray tool at the moment, so we're going to go and add a URL. So I'm trying to think of a good URL to add, and why not the Zero Crust YouTube channel? Why not? So for the file, we just simply enter in the URL of the channel, which is this. Oops. There we go. Make sure I haven't got a space in there. And we don't know parameters. Don't want to run this as admin, obviously. And we just want to hit save, like so. Okay. And then once that saves in, you will see, as if by magic, the URL of, we have the Windows folder icon there. That's not ideal, but you can see I click on that link and it takes me straight through to the channel, which you'll notice I now have amassed an impressive 51 subscribers. So only 999,949 to go until I get my golden plaque. We can do it. Right then. So that is basically how to add a URL. Let's go and delete that. And we're going to move on to number 5. There we go. And I'm going to just minimize that and switch here. Yeah, this is good. Number 5, blocked network app. So this may seem slightly odd. Why would I be recommending you use a tray tool to block an app with a tray tool? And okay, this is the scenario. You want to allow a user to run something, so not as admin perhaps, but just run something, but you don't want them running it without a PIN code, right? So, I mean, in the example I've got here, I've got a process hacker, but it could really be any executable, something that you want the user to be able to run easily, but not unattended. So they need to get permission, and it's not like anyone can phone them up and just tell them to run it. They would need to get a PIN code from you or someone in the portal that has access to the PIN code system. So, and this is actually quite a handy little trick to do. So I've already blocked the application, which is, I think you'll find, oops, it's in app control. Actually, I'm going to switch, there we go, switch the screen, Jeff. Okay, good. Block, you see here that I've got my, this is blocked. If I tried to run this anyway, I would just deny it. And it is using a block always rule. So be very careful when using block always. Never use block always for a service or ideally not a system file, any part of the OS. It would cause some trouble, so be very careful not to use block always for those things, and also generic files like setup or install avoid as well. So but for this is not a generic file, and we've done it on a hash, which is unique, so we should be good with this one. So I blocked it. I don't want users to run this file. And then what I'm going to do is, if I go into my tray tool, I am going to, if I go back to here, I am going to put in a network path to this file, because I put this file on a network share, okay? Read-only network share as well, I believe. So I'm going to put in here process hacker, and then the URL is here. So that's the path to the executable. There's no parameters. I don't want to run this as admin, but I could do, but I don't want to. In this case, I'm going to just hit save. And that is done. Okay, so back over on the, just make sure I've got broadcasting the right screen. So back over on the endpoint, the user would see process hacker. If they wouldn't know where that file was, they can't know where it is, but they just see it there on their tray tool. So now what happens, let's say we're doing a support call. Okay, user, can you go and start process hacker? Okay, fine. And then what happens now is I put in a custom notice on the block message here to say, you know, give, actually it's not here, is it? It's in the block. So that would be here and here. To say, you know, give a pin code, to give pin 1 to help desk. All right, so click on pin code. Okay, so basically I'm a well-behaved user, so I do the pin code thing, and I'm now going to give pin code 1 to help desk. Okay, so so this is kind of challenge response. So I would find the pin code, would go to here, go to pin code, and I would type in here the pin 1, which is 370281, and generate pin 2. Okay, and then I tell the user to enter in 170305. Hit OK, and boom. You can see I can now run this, but I could only run it with someone actually giving me that pin code. So that's the kind of, that's a nice thing to be able to do, rather than have users kind of trying to click on, trying to find files and, you know, navigate, you know, network shares and all the rest of it. I really like that. It's a nice little feature. Yeah, anyway, let me go and delete that, and we're going to move on now to the next one. Okay, go to app control. Hopefully you're getting the hang of this now. Okay, so it's delete, and then again, once we delete, we're going to make sure that the tray tool is empty, which it is. Perfect. Right then, let us move on to tray tool number 6. Okay, so this is a nice, I thought I'd put this one in. This is quite a common one, and we're using variables here for the Windows directory, which is quite nice. So you can use lots of variables when you create tray tools, and I thought I'd put an example in of this one. So again, let's go back to the mode here. I'm going to just pull up my instructions here, and then we're going to go and create a new tray tool for event viewer. So event viewer, you would need to elevate if you want to view the security events. So that's what we're going to do. So I'm going to go and type in here event viewer. Let me just copy the here. Right, so it would be event viewer, and go to file like so, paste, and I think we need /s on this, and we need to elevate it, and I'm going to save that. So with this tray tool, I'd be very handily be able to go into my event viewer and view those security logs as an admin, without again having to find event viewer. And again, any any other MSC you can see. So let's go to Windows Logs, Security. So normally I'd get blocked from these if I wasn't an admin. And again, of course, this would be audit logged as well. That's quite nice. Okay. Okay, so we've done that one, and we're really getting through these. That's very good. So I'm going to delete that, and again I'm going to double check to make sure that we've cleared out the tools. Okay, perfect. And we are going to switch back, and we are going to go to tool number 7. This is probably one of the most common tray tools that we get asked for, so I thought I would include it in here. And this is good old environment variables. So getting a bit more complex now because we're using parameters. So let's go and put in the environment variables. Okay, back over here, and I would go to Tray Tool, Create, and I would use this here, so it would be environment vars, paste, and then parameters. So the parameters, so we're using sysdm cpl, and then you can see after that essentially the component within that. So obviously if you want to do something different and not environment variables, you could apply the same logic there as well. So let's just hit save. And again, let's go to Tray Tools. We're going to go and find the tool. There it is. And this should just present us with a nice environment variable screen. Perfect. There we go. So again, this is something that you would need admin to be able to do, and it's great that you can just do it on a tray tool. If I'm a developer and I'm changing my environment variables all the time, this is going to save me a lot of time doing that, and again with the audit log as well. Right then, we're going to go on now to number 8. And I'm going to actually, before I do that, just to make sure we're not getting accused of any malpractice, we're going to make sure we've got everything clear. Perfect. Right, back over here. Here we go. Boom. Right. Number 8. Okay, so now what we're doing is we're taking this a bit further. So we did that the executable on the network, and now what we're going to do is we're going to use a batch file on the network with a script that enables us to edit the hosts file. Okay, so again, the user won't know where the script is located. It's all kind of shielded by the tray tool itself, and this is something that I do quite a lot. So let's go and build this one up. Right, so again, let's go on the main screen, and I'm going to go here. I'm going to go to this one. So with where you put the file name in, you will put the path. You put the path in. So I'm going to call this one host file edit path to batch file. Again, you can pre-approve a batch file. Yes, we want to run this as admin, obviously, and we're going to hit save. And that batch file, by the way, I can share the details, or I'll put maybe we can put that in the comments, or you can get in touch with us. Basically, that batch file would exist on a folder share that I believe I've stuck. Where has it gone? So it's basically going to be in read-only batches, I think it is. So you can see here, edit host file, and edit in Notepad. You can see that it basically what it does, it does a little elevation, or check for elevation, and then it goes and starts Notepad to edit the file. So let us go in here. We got the tool, it's ready, edit host file. So we do get this because it's not signed, and then that should do a command, and then it should start Notepad with a host file. So you can see here that if you notice up on the top here, there's a little dot, so I could do, and then I could save it because I'm elevated, and like so. If it wasn't elevated, I wouldn't get, I'd get a UAC prompt. Okay, so you can see I can definitely save that. Okay, so that is quite a neat thing to be able to have to hand on your tray tool. Very good. We're building up to the big finish. Let me go and delete that one. So hopefully you're getting the hang of this now. You can do executables on network shares. You don't have to do network shares, but obviously if it's not on a network share, you'd have to get that batch file onto the user's local system, and that may be something you can do using an MDM, but we're using a network share in this instance. Let us go and double check to make sure that is gone, which it has, and we're going to switch back now to have a look at number 9, and we're going to go and hit. By the way, my dog is being very well behaved. There he is. Bobby. No, all right. Oh yes, he's looking up. There we go. He's on YouTube. Well done. Okay, right. Let us proceed to. We've done the host file. Hang on a second. Right. Okay, this one is basically probably the most advanced. Well, we're using a PowerShell script here to call some Windows capability stuff to get access to the optional features, which is kind of a difficult thing to do due to the way how Microsoft have designed it. So you can do it through PowerShell. So for that, we're going to use a script, and the script I borrowed off Frederick Nylander from Copenhagen Business School. So Frederick, if you're out there, thank you very much indeed for tak, as they say in Danish. So yes, I borrowed that off a ticket that I saw, because Frederick was having problems getting this to work with a tray tool, and it does seem to work with the tray tool, as we're gonna see. So let us go to switch over to here, and then we're going to add this tray tool. So it's in a similar way to the last batch file, we are going to put the path in to that batch file, which is on that read-only share. So I'm going to hang on a second. I need to go and where's it gone again? Optional features.bat. Okay, fine. I think this is going to be right. Let me just, okay, add the tool here. Optional features path file would be this, and I think I call the file optional features.bat. That's a good name. Optional features.bat. Is that right? .bat even. I don't think we have any parameters. No, we don't. But we need to run that as admin. So I'm going to save that now. Hopefully I've got that that done right. And I'm going to do that, and I'm going to do the optional feature. So this goes and runs again. We get that unsigned, and then it's going to fire off that command. And then hopefully we'll get a nice little GUI version of optional features appearing, and that will allow me to add and remove those features. Here we go. This is fantastic. So this is what not quite as pretty as the Windows interface, but possible to enable and disable these features. So that is how that is done, and that is pretty straightforward actually. So again, thank you, Frederick, for that, and I might go and add to your ticket and just let you know that we've covered your request in this live show. Right then, let us go and delete this optional feature and make sure that is all cleared out. Perfect, and switch back to here, and then we have the last one. And the last one is kind of like the daddy of tray tools in that it's control panel. Okay, so you can do an awful lot of stuff with control panel, and therefore this is quite a powerful tray tool. I would say probably a lot more privilege than you want to give most users, but remember, you could invoke this tray tool using the same mechanism as we did for support assist. Maybe not for help desk, but maybe there is an account that you could give out. You could change the password could be cycled, and then the user could use that temporarily to gain access to a control panel, as opposed to giving them, you know, full privilege of like a lapsed password. You could just give them the credentials of the non-privileged account that has the full control panel access. Okay. I mean, there is a warning there, and that warning is just to let you know that, you know, hey, come on, this is control panel. This is a lot of admin you're going to give to someone. But I thought I would cover it because it is kind of like a nice to have if you're on that help desk team. This is probably one of the tools I would give my help desk staff because it would allow you to do, you know, fix a lot of problems, basically. So, and this is a super easy tray tool to create, as you can see. So let's go ahead and add this then. So we're going to go and add the tool, and then we're going to go to just type in the name. The name could be anything you like. It's just obviously self-explanatory. And we're going to just stick in here control.exe. I don't think any parameters, and we want to elevate that. And there's the warning that pops up. So we're going to hit save. Okay, and there it is. And again, refresh settings, and there is my tray tool with my control panel. And I can go ahead now and click on that and elevate it. And there we have the control panel. And you know, we can go ahead and do, you know, a lot of stuff in here. So, you know, things that yeah, so a lot of stuff you can do with control panel. And actually what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually show you that whole support assist thing, because if you remember the support assist subsetting that I'd created over here, it didn't have control panel, and I think it should actually, so I'm going to put it in. Right, so first of all, let's just refresh the settings, so make sure that there's nothing here, and then I'm going to add the same thing we just did, but just for this subsetting. So I'm going to go and type in control panel, and then I'm going to type in control.exe, no parameters, there's the warning, hit save, like so, done. And maybe I want to move it up so it's kind of more high up, like so, because it is, you know, probably the most useful tool. So let's put it at the top. And so the user will not have control panel, has no tray tools at all. And we're going to invoke support assist because I'm a help desk person doing a remote session now. And I need to go and change some stuff on your computer. So help desk. And there we go. And what do we have? We have control panel. Hooray! So there we go. And I can now do my support for the user, get everything fixed. And of course, as this is a support assist session, we get it all logged, a dual log with the user who's logged into the computer, but also the support person as well. So if we go to the audit log over here, you'll see a very nice joint log here of what was done. So that's great for auditing as well. Right then, okay, so I think that is basically it. We've managed to get 40 minutes of me talking at you. So I hope you found. Actually, let's go back here. So I hope you found that the stuff covered in the video, or not video, is it? It's a live show. A live show was useful. I know there aren't too many of you online, but if you did have any questions, I'd be very happy to answer them. and if not, obviously you can contact me later on, and I'll do my best to answer them then. But if there aren't any questions, I guess really that's all to say is thanks for watching, and we'll try and do more of these shows in the future, and we'll also see if we can get some consensus on some good topics on what can be done, what other topics we could cover for the next one. But until then, have a good one, and I'll see you soon. Toodaloo and goodbye.